So I'll just kind of start off here. Thank you all for joining us. This is our second in our series of EESystem Center Owner Sunday Support
Day.
gatherings
Yes, gathering. Yeah.
and Sunday Support Day. And so this is exciting for us. Thank you for being patient as we kind of work out all the details of how this happens. But we are thrilled with the response. We've had well over 50 people respond. A number of them will be watching the recording after the fact because they're in Australia or some other part of the world. But thank you all that are here live with us. This is fabulous. And yeah, this is, I mean, Darylle, would you like to go ahead and jump in with a little bit of the intro and maybe intention?
Yes, so namaste to everyone. And I love I learned in India namaste was really the greeting of my divine is saying hello to the divine in you. And I can't think of a better way to say hello. It's that. So we start right off at the heart to heart basis. And by now, it's become very, very obvious that the time that we're living in now is historic for the evolution of humanity. It's been predicted for a very long time in all kinds of ways, with the Hopi shamans to the Mayan calendar, to all kinds of predictions that is not in our future, we're in it now. And the evolution of mankind has to do with raising consciousness. So, raising awareness of the significance of our consciousness and that the quantum field is actually a collective of our consciousness, right? So, learning how and understanding how to interact with the quantum field and the frequencies in the quantum field for manifestation purposes to create the new world that we're creating is a priority. And the part that Dr. Dream, also that we've had many powwows about this, is that the part I respect and appreciate about him so much is that we both have this very incredible, deep passion, and I would have to say eternal appreciation for the energy enhancement system owners. It always makes me cry. I'm still in awe of you guys because we are actually delivering you're delivering the technology into the world that will raise human consciousness because inside those units and in the technology are the frequencies that are the human's highest states. And it's all there. So every time people enter your centers, they're now raising their own consciousness. So you're actually, in looking at this from the highest possible view, the fact that you've been entrusted of the escort of humanity to get into higher states of consciousness, to open up the fifth dimension golden era. Golden era of enlightenment is really what's coming. It's here now. And so with you guys doing that, Dr. Dream and I'm so grateful for him. The passion we both share is to ensure that no matter what, you are successful in your centers and that you have the ability and the tools to attract people into your centers to be able to fulfill the destiny that we all came here to do. And so I believe passionately that Dr. Dreaman and myself feel that our 100% focus is to be of highest value to all of you in any way possible so that you achieve the attraction of humanity to come in the centers, and then consciousness will be raised and negativity will diminish and then be vanquished from the field. So it's really important that that we're here gathering here today. It's another something that we're passionate about offering you to encourage, uplift, nourish, and support so that when you go back to serving the people that are coming in, you can share what we're learning today was going to be pretty cool. Breath work is huge. for raising consciousness. I'm pretty excited myself about today's special guest. But just to say thank you again and again for all you're doing for so many and how grateful we both are to be able to be entrusted with being of high value to you in every way possible, and that we will be victorious in raising consciousness on this earth now. So thank you for being here, and let's enjoy an absolutely special day with our special guest. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Darylle. I have to say, just to be witnessed by all of us here, that your dedication and passion for EESystem, for Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, and for all of us as owners of EESystem centers around the world is paramount, and the energy that you hold for all of us. And now I can just speak for myself that what you've done for me personally, as we traverse the challenges that we face as center owners and some of the negativities and the energies that have shown up that are less than comfortable, how you have assisted me in shifting from a negative energetic and a negative mindset to not at all even focused on all of that drama, because that was blocking everything that I really want or choose or desire for my life to be about, has been incredible. And then for us to collaborate the way we are from our deepest heart space of want of choosing to be in service at the highest level to everyone that's here right now, but beyond that, to every single EESystem owner that is dedicated to EESystem and the technology. And as I said, Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, the inventor, and the fact that we know we can make a difference. And these Sundays, this support Sunday, the first Sunday of each month, has come from our greatest desire of putting ourselves out there and being in service. It's a free offering, and it is truly just from our hearts, and it means so much. And so I'd like us all to take a moment right now. You all have heard and felt our intention and our heart space about this offering and who we are, and why we're stepping up the way we are. I'd like to ask you to step into your heart space right now and ask yourself and identify your intention as an EESystem owner, and what that means on the highest or deepest level for you, and to reconnect with that before we go any further in this offering this morning. Because we know that when we open ourselves up and are focused on our intention, that everything unfolds from that space. And that is so important. And so for all of us to just take, Darylle and I were talking, and we think it's 68 seconds. Abraham Hicks has said that focusing on and owning and being in a deep connection in your heart space with your intention really expands it, and brings it into your reality. So let's all just take that 68 seconds right now, focus on our intention and own it, and really allow it to fill up our entire being from our heart center. That I just feel you all, and I feel that love and that energy and that commitment and dedication that we all share. And I appreciate you taking this time and space with us um, before we dive into everything. That felt really, really good. And it's that connection to our community that means everything. And we can find power and strength in that connection. And so I thank you for that. Oh,
Dr.
today,
Dream, Dr.
yes,
Dream, just very quickly, is that Dr. Jenny out in Richmond, California, she has sent a message to all the owners and all of us here on this call to wish us the very best today and the very fulfilling successes in each of your centers. So she wanted to say namaste, grand rising, and her blessings for you. She may be our guest speaker next month. We're looking
so
forward
much
to
love and respect for Dr. Jenny because she is the connection point that brought you in deeply
yes,
into the EE system
yes,
family and community. And so that's
yes,
lovely that her energetic gets to be brought in.
yes,
And I know that she'll be watching this recording after the fact.
yes.
Our guest today is a gentleman that I have known for well over a decade. He is committed and dedicated his life to breath work, but even beyond what we would just say as breath work. He was on a recent podcast of mine, and literally, as he described his vision for the world breathing together, brought me to tears. His name is Rabie Hayek. He is the director of the World Breathing Day at the International Breathwork Foundation, and he is the creator of the breathing modality Life Force Mastery, which he will be sharing with us today. And very exciting that we get to have this experience because then we'll in turn be able to share this with our members and clients at our centers to help potentiate their healing experience. Rabie, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm just going to turn the whole thing now over to you.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. And thank you to all of you, as I feel so welcome. And I'm so glad you took that 68 seconds or whatnot to let our hearts meet and cook and connect. And so, quantum stewards, hello, dear. Hello, dear ones. My name, Rabie Hayek, as he just shared with you. I got stung by the breath many years ago, having a vision to unite 1 billion people to breathe together on planet Earth, and we will continue that effort together. In being in a field of people that already understand why it would be powerful to breathe together, it is an honor to get to come to you today as stewards of the Energy Enhancement System and share with you further how the breath can elevate that and how conscious breathing, even the word breathing doesn't say much. But if we go back to the original aspect of spiriting, the word spirit and the word breath are the same word in most of the world's languages. And so to say that the energy enhancement system works on body, mind, spirit, and science is awesome. But what are we really saying when it comes to the breath? And so I wanted to start there to say to you that the breath, of course, relates to the body, it relates to the mind. But for most of the world's languages to have called the word spirit in and have the word breath and the word spirit rooted in the same words, take a look at the English language. inspire, respire, aspire, inspire, conspire, expire. All of those words connected to spire or spiritus, spirit. And so the breath is the spirit aspect of our being. And when we let there be some level of importance to it, when we invite it to be more than just passive, we begin a beautiful conversation that I share with you today. Oh, the healers of the planet meeting in the center of the global village today. Ooh, I'm excited to share with you. I'm also excited to invite you to turn your camera on if you like to. I'm going to give you reason, though. all you quantum wizards here enjoying the power of the quantum. Many people don't know this, but as we sit on Zoom, if I were sitting in front of you, in front of a big crowd of you, I would only be facing my third eye with maybe one or two of you. But this Zoom technology caught me off guard one day when I was teaching clients breath work. We meet once a week, same time, and we started to show up in the same color. And I was like, what's going on here? So I have a gallery of photos I've taken, screenshots of showing up in the exact same shade, same frequency as people coming to meet and breathe together. And I said, what's going on? And I thought back, I thought to Greg Braden, I thought to Dan Siegel, and I realized that our mirror neurons were facing each other and mirroring through Zoom. How cool. And so when yeah, right. I will sometimes say, can I get a oh yes, as I'm sharing and teaching you? So if I say, can I get a oh yes, even if I can't hear you, put out a oh yes into the air. Thank you. All right, we can go there too for the visual. But I'm asking that not to be like a Baptist preacher, oh, yes, but rather to ignite the power of yes into the field together as we as healers meet in the center of the global village and through mirror neuron connection. And so how cool that is to know that. And now you're sitting in front of your screen in a slightly different way. Mirror neurons open, and we're talking about something so beautifully important to our elevation and to our evolution. I'm going to let the magical and the logical just get all mixed up together, all right, and allow you all to decode unto yourself and with your own brilliance of all the study and beauty that you've probably had along the way to get here when it comes to the breath, when it comes to energy. But really, those two flags of logical and magical that the language creators must have known something to call it the respiratory system. And again, system, we are bringing a particular system to plug into the energy enhancement system. But most of us have been rushing past this word, respiratory, respiratory. Let's slow it down, shall we? Respiratory system. See, my hopes today was to come and change your life forever today. Some of you woke up and were like, oh, I'll get on the breathing class. But I'm here to change how you walk out that door today. Because if I can do that, we will elevate even quicker that which is the power of us coming together to breathe together, to enhance people's energy, to provide them healing. And so, respiratory system for the rest of your life, dear ones. Can I get a oh yes? Woo! Respiratory system. Wait a minute. That means that my breath is a reset to my spirit. And that instead of using this mundane word, breathe, doesn't say much, to spirit again. Meaning again, to spirit again. Oh, wow. When I'm breathing, I'm spiriting again. Ooh, how beautiful is that? Now we've elevated this from breathing to re-spiriting. And if everyone that came to sit amongst those scalar waves could come from such a baseline, Oh, you almost feel, just feel in your own being the power of that. And that the language creators were already hip to the secret of it, right? That they went ahead and dialed that into the language. You look in the modern world, and if you move your breath so much as someone can hear you, people come check on you. That's the world we're in. I'm committed to making it so that we move our breath and we celebrate the power of that. You hear someone moving their breath extra, what are you feeling? Connect with it. But I wanted to bring a logical piece to when someone comes and sits amongst the scalar waves, if they're not dialed in to this aspect of the breathing and then moving the breathing from passive to conscious, we're missing an opportunity. And I'm going to describe it to you now so that it lands. So one of the teachers I studied with, Dr. Acharya Yogesh, I had asked him very simply, I said, give it to me in layman's terms, why breathe consciously? Really, why? And he said very immediately, he said, to get body, mind, and spirit moving in one powerful direction. And I thought about that. And I want to unpack that so it doesn't sound in the new agey or just like up and the airy part of this description. But let's be real grounded about it for a second. If I'm sitting at my desk and I'm tapping my right foot, that's my body. My body's going in one direction. I'm tapping my right foot. And my mind is thinking about what I'm doing later. And my breath, my spirit aspect, is doing a third thing. Then that's me moving in 3 directions. Can I get it? Oh, yes? You with me? That's me moving in 3 directions. But how powerful will you be if you're split in 3? Whoop, whoop. But how powerful would you be if you allowed your breath to steward the body, the mind, and the spirit to move together? And I know I'm speaking amongst a group of people that has done that. I know that when you've had conscious breathing moments, you feel that settling. In fact, so much cerebral stuff. Please take a breath right now. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale deeply. And after the deep exhale, take a nice nourishing breath and feel what I just said of body being settled, mind being here, and breath being with it. We've now fused those 3 to get body, mind, and breath moving together. Now let's take it deeper. That's one level. We've just arrived at awareness and causing the breath to be conscious. But when someone is just fresh off of the highway and was on some heated phone call and they come into your center, they come to sit down, if they're breathing shallow and they're consistently doing so and they're continuing, nobody said it otherwise about their breath, they just have a seat and that's all they got. The chances of them being in fight or flight are still very large. Whereas if we begin with body, mind, and breath moving together, and then inviting them into letting that be a baseline, we then can move even further into moving them out of fight or flight into rest or digest. And the theory that I have is that conscious breathing has the power to prime and to prepare their being for maximum healing. And that's what we're looking for. Can I get it? Oh, yes. Yes, to maximize, to prime and prepare with something non-threatening, right? The breath is non-threatening. That if you invite them to take a breath or 3 breaths or a certain way of breathing, it all begins to dissolve into body, mind, and breath moving in one powerful direction. And so if they're split or if they remain in fight or flight, you'll never know that they didn't get the extra effects they would have got. And so, wow, it's one of those things that just goes beyond, and we don't know what would have happened, could have happened. And so what I feel I'm presenting to you today is a way for them to very simply heighten the possibilities, and maybe even more than that, because this the aspect of I saw that you introduced color as well with the biophotonic part of it. And I am one who's been very big into the power of breathing color, that when your being is breathing that in, and your awareness is upon breathing that in, that perhaps we more fluidly balance the chakras, the energy centers, utilizing color. I had invented something called the World Breathing Room, which will be back out soon again. Actually, maybe something very neat for EESystem's owners eventually when that room is cooking and people are breathing in it. It offers up a coherent breathing rhythm of 6 breaths per minute, but you have people breathing with an orb on the screen and connecting people from all over the world through the quantum field, breathing together. And so this is something we launched back in 2007. And after we lost funding to the project, we weren't able to bring it back alive until now recently. And so I'll get that to you when it's back out, and it's back out soon. But the reason I brought it up was we have a full spectrum breathing room next to the World Breathing Room, where you're able to breathe 3 colors of each chakra up the chakra line in stimulating color. And so raise up your logic and own this aspect that when we breathe in, our ability to breathe in color, our ability to get body, mind, and breath moving in one direction are all in our hands. It's all right in our ability. And so why would we not? And so let us let me offer up one of the ways that I'm sure you've even run into through other healing modalities. But when a person comes into your center, and you might even notice that they're breathing shallow, you might even notice that they're breathing relatively rapid. And so just the simple invitation of us moving the breath from being high in the chest to down low, filling the lungs up fully, will begin very quickly, without anything else, to move them out of fight or flight. And so I wanted to invite that with the simplicity of taking the right hand on your tummy, if you would, and the left hand on your chest. You've probably done this before, but I'm bringing the logic back together so that when you have someone sitting there and you see that it's high in the chest or they're breathing rapidly, one of the first things you can do is have them put the hands here and here. And I'm going to now share with you that every breathing technique I teach begins with what's called a setup breath. And what that is an exhale deeply before we go for the first official breath of the technique. The reason for that is because when we inhale, our heart speeds up. When we exhale, ask a doctor. It's very simple, that when the exhale begins to happen, the heart rate begins to slow down. And so I invite people to do a long exhale. We call it setup breath. So if I invite you in a little while to check in with your posture, here we go. We're getting ready for setup breath. You take a slight inhale and a deep exhale. And so take a slight inhale. Let's go for setup breath. And blow it out, deep exhale. And go ahead and take a deep breath, breathe it on in, and just feel for if your chest rises first or if your navel point rises first. Go into the second breath and begin to migrate as you go to that second breath to raising the lower hand first, that the lower hand, the navel area filling up, the middle lungs filling up, the upper lungs filling up, and then exhaling in the opposite direction. And every progressive breath, you invite the lower, the navel point region to expand, the middle area to expand, the wings of the side to expand, and the chest up here to expand last. You can drop your hands now. The point there is to bring the logic to someone that you immediately see is already breathing high in the chest, and just with the simplicity of that, bringing them to breathe an entire full lung breath. Once you get past 5 or 6 breaths, you can ask them how they're feeling. And then
I feel like it takes a while for shipments to come in.
Oh, someone's just not. Were you asking a question? Okay, it was just unmuted. Sorry, I wasn't sure. And so the simplicity of that, now to pattern that and add to it the idea of long exhales. Um, one of the greatest ways to create a long exhale is by blowing the air out. And the reason that is it creates a throttle right here that limits and smooths the exhale leaving you. And so I have many times created peace, created a feeling from a person that was coming into the room with fight or flight, but just utilizing blowing exhales to create long exhales, to create space, and then allow them to settle. And so I wanted to come in with simplicity first for all of you, even though many of you probably had many years of different styles of healing modalities and such, but just as someone's coming right off the street into your center, allowing us to know, to even observe what's going on for them breathing wise, if they seem settled, if they seem worked up, pent up, but allowing the first things that we're interested in is to get body, mind, and spirit moving in one powerful direction, to create long exhales, and to migrate the breath away from the upper chest to allow the full lungs to fill up. And so there are more aspects that you could do, but I wanted to keep the entry point simple. We're going to culminate into an exercise called 3-breath anchor. And by the way, I also wanted to speak to those of you that thought, well, it's a breath work. Are we going to be on our back? Or are we going to end up doing a long pulsation of conscious connected breathing? I and 3 of my colleagues actually got together and created a definition for breath work, as it is not in the most dictionaries. And we are taking it around the planet because it wasn't actually defined in most languages. And so breath work, of course, being a trauma release mechanism, we also, however, under the umbrella of breath work, allow all that is breathing exercises, all that is in life force mastery, where the modality is based in pranayama. And so pranayama, if you're not familiar, the breathing aspect of the yoga system, brings us abilities to work with the breath sitting up. And that I have a great passion for. The ability to use conscious connected breathing, laying on our back to release trauma is very powerful. But if we just leave people with that logic and no other logic of what to do with their breath, we're missing so much. And so today, I'm not speaking about the trauma release. I'm not speaking about conscious connected breathing on your back, but rather in life force mastery, how we approach how a person is breathing sitting up and what's going on. In this case, wanting to prime them for greater healing. And so let's look for a moment. What have we done? The person came in, our ability to observe, to allow them to, what's going on with them, if there's anything you can even visually observe, then getting their hands on their chest and their tummy, getting them to migrate into fuller breaths. And then once they've created a fuller, deeper breath, allowing long exhales for as long as you'd like. You can sit there and simply invite an inhale and exhale. And just for you as a practitioner, the universal symbol for inhale and exhale, if you're saying it while you sweep the hand, even more so if you're inviting them to breathe, if they're sitting there with the hands here and you're simply speaking out to deepen the breath and to not allow it to go to the chest first, you won't know how much you've maximized this person's potential until after, and it's all magnificent and the healing has happened. On a deeper level, I have a passion to get people into meditation before they were even laying in there. In other words, we'll talk about this after, about possibly being able to do a session with you all in the rooms, or maybe even with some of your patrons. But the furtherance here would be not just getting them into deep and long and full lung breaths and having them out of fight or flight, but what would it be to use the conscious breathing to get them into meditation And now the aspects of our thought, impressing upon the quantum field, the ability for us to, from body, mind, and spirit moving together, right? Not from someone coming in stressed, sitting down, body's going one direction, mind's going another, and breath's going a third. I hope that really landed about the body, mind, and breath moving together. Did it? Can I get it? Oh, yes. You with me? All right. Thank you. Beautiful. And so let us take a moment to stretch. Let's stretch up out of our shoulders. A lot of cerebral stuff. That's why I'm having you right now. Excuse my armpits lit up. Stretch on out. Decompress the shoulders. And by the way, that is my favorite thing to have anyone do before they're going to do any conscious breathing. And so when they arrive in your center, I don't know if you do or don't, but having them just arrive in their body and stretch, stretching, arriving in the body, and then having them have a seat and go through the breathing protocol I was just sharing. All right. We're going to do a 3-breath anchor and invite you into this knowledge of one of my favorite ways to have body, mind, and breath moving together. And then I will take that further into the experience, but but I'm not necessarily teaching the second and third part of it on how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to do a 3-breath anchor so you can share it. But then we'll go on after that into alternate nostril breathing, and we'll do a charge section. Anchor, balance, charge in Life Force Mastery is the simple architecture of how to run someone through a round of breath work. Anchor, balance, charge. So we're going to begin with anchor, and I'm not going to share with you what a 3-breath anchor is. And so when we do a 3-breath anchor, first of all, of course, checking in with the posture and with excellent posture. If you ever see somebody out of excellent posture, don't head into the conscious breathing yet. First, invite posture, mainly because the spine, so funny that we just called it, again, right, like I was saying, breathe is kind of a mundane word. Spine is another one. That spine, when we found out in 3rd grade or in science and anatomy, at some point someone said it's spine, there was nothing special about it. But if they had called it the magic energy rod or the magic energy river, we all would have been out at the playground talking about, hey, you got a magic energy rod, I got a magic energy rod. And so you see, I could have just said, sit with your spine straight, but I wanted to elevate that the reality, that the energy that we're plugging into in the quantum field, connecting through our magic energy rod, our spine. And so before anybody goes to do any breaths, you have them stretch, you have them check in with their posture and invite that excellent posture. And you might lay the joke in that I just shared about the magic energy rod. But with excellent posture after stretching, now the vessel's ready. And so we're going to do a 3-breath anchor. The first breath, well, first we will do a setup breath, as I'd said. So you'll check in with your posture. We'll breathe in slightly. We'll blow out to empty out. That's the setup breath. We'll then close the mouth, tongue touching the roof of the mouth. We'll inhale through the nose, and then we'll exhale out the nose. We'll inhale through the nose. We'll blow the air out the mouth for the second breath. We'll inhale through the nose and we'll exhale on an H sound out the mouth on the third breath. So again, just for anybody that missed it, you'll check in with the posture. We'll then take a setup breath. It's a slight inhale and a deep exhale. We'll then close the mouth, touch the tongue to the roof of the mouth, inhale through the nose. And then if you know what Ujjayi breath is from yoga, if you don't, I will share now. There's an opportunity to make that first breath the breath that landed them. It puts you right where you're at fully, body, mind, and breath, when you allow your awareness to follow the sound of the breath. Particularly in yoga, we have what's called Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath means ocean breath, but even deeper, some of the yogis that were quite romantic about it called it the sound of clouds moving. I prefer that one. How cool, right? Sound of clouds moving. And so as you exhale with your mouth closed, create an H sound, but the mouth is closed. You're then hearing that H sound out the nose. Now I'm going to drop some magic on you right here. All right. Um, First, try it. Everyone take a breath. Mouth closed, exhale, an H sound in the back of your throat, but hear it through your nose, basically. Is everybody with me on that? Hand up. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm going to drop the magic. All right. Our ears opened up at month 3 or 4 when we were inside of our mother. And our mother's breathing became our first teacher. Whoa. I told you I was going to drop some magic. Our mother's breathing was one of the first sounds we ever heard. How awesome is that? How cool. In this way, we know our mother for that much longer than we know our father, intimately, from her sound of her breathing. Only sounds we heard mom's voice, dad's voice, some of the things going on, but the nearest, dearest was the sound of mom's breathing. Now comes the not so funny joke from the universe that you're not going to see anything for 5 more months, but you're going to hear the sound of breathing. You think that might have programmed something in? That when we hear the sound of the breath, everything is willing to surrender? We then surrender, we open up, and we prime the whole energy system to receive. Can I get a oh yes? There's something beautiful about that, right? That life itself, and with no choosing that it goes to this person and not to that person, zero discrimination, life itself sat you down, said you're going to listen to mama's breathing, and you might notice when mom is sped up or when mom is slowed down. This is why I said it's our first teacher. And that to some people gets them going, the breath is up here. It's not just a by the wayside kind of thing. That the creation itself was educating us by using the sound of your mom's breathing. And now you see why I brought it up. Remember, I said we're wanting to get them to get body, mind, and spirit moving together to relax the nervous system in its entirety so as to receive the scalar energy. And so after the setup breath, you're going to exhale. And by the way, you might be enjoying the sound of the breath the whole time through the 3-breath anchor. So the first breath, the setup breath, we're blowing out, right? There's sound, right? Be the expert level and let your awareness connect to the sound of breath from the blowing moment. And so we check in with the posture. I'm going to speak you through one right now, a 3-breath anchor, and I want to invite your awareness to follow the sound of breath the whole time. All right? So checking in with the posture, that the posture is excellent. Breathing in slightly, set up breath, breathe it in. Blow it out, listen to the sound. Okay, gotta start over. I gotta tell you something. Blowing is another beautiful act of the breath. But if you do it like this, that isn't blowing. All right? Blowing has these cheeks out so that the lips can limit what's leaving you. And if I walked into the room right now with the birthday cake up, all the candles, you wouldn't blow in front of all your friends like this. To get a nice, and I'm saying that not just to be cute, but rather an action of the breath leaving you. If it's going to work as a setup breath, if you're going to create sound, it's not going to be, it's going to be. Did you notice right there? Is just quick and slow, but to go in a Sufi text, they wrote about that being like a string that goes down to your navel. Think about it for a second. If it's a string going down to my navel and it's my setup breath, that means I'm reaching down there energetically and bringing energy up and out to begin. At the same time, my awareness is connecting to the sound. All right, check in with the posture. We're going to go again. You're going to blow out your setup breath. You're going to make sure you're blowing. You're going to use the sound to let your awareness connect to the sound. And then we're going to go in. I'm going to speak through the 3 breaths. So here we go. Check in with the posture, that the posture is excellent. Breathing in a slight breath here, setup breath, and blow it out. Good. Closing the mouth, tongue touches the roof. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Ujjayi breath, the sound. And breathe in through the nose, mouth closed. And blow the air out. And breathe in. Open the mouth, exhale on an H sound. And then one can say to themselves, I am anchored, or I am anchoring. At the end of just 3 breaths, you become very powerful to know that you can anchor your entire intuition, your entire intention for the moment through a 3-breath anchor and land fully in the present. My students can land in meditation in 9 breaths, and it becomes very powerful. You begin to show yourself how powerful you really are with your breath, with the aspect of life force. And so I invite you to think of it as life force and share it as life force rather than just the breath. At any point, be willing to interchange them. But did you feel yourself land sweetly using the sound? Did you see how the sound gets you to relax? Yes, no? Can I get a oh, yes? 3-breath anchor? All right. And so imagine someone comes into the center. You're already observing their breath. You're already observing if it seems high in the chest or if it's rapid. And as they sit down, very simply, you usher them through these few things: hand on the chest, hand on the tummy, checking to see if you can deepen, getting them to deepen by speaking it out. After having them deepen the breath, slow the breath down, having them do some blowing out and allowing anything that wants to ride out that's on that string down to the 3rd chakra where we store all of our identity stuff. Just allowing them to blow the air out, to blow the air out, to blow the air out, and then leading them in a 3-breath anchor, which at the end of the anchor, you've primed them. You've primed them. You've created an openness. Now, there's a lot more. There's a lot more I can do. There's a lot more you can learn to do. And perhaps that becomes something really supportive of the EE systems. I'm excited to do more searching, more sharing, more seeing how that lands. But for right now, let's do another 3-breath anchor. And then I'm going to head further into a little bit of an experience since we have the time. All right. And then at the end, we can take any questions. But there's, as you saw, simple. However, one can do a 3-breath anchor and not have their awareness on the sound of breath. You don't go as deep. It's a wonderful thing to allow and to teach and to share with people that the sound of breath literally pulls everything back into a centered and allows your center then to be receptive. And so let's go again. Check in with your posture, that your posture is excellent. Shoulders down, muscles relaxed. Inhaling the setup breath. Blow out, empty out. Closing the mouth, tongue touches the roof, breathe in. Exhale out the nose, Ujjayi breath. Good. Inhale through the nose. Blow the air out. And inhale through the nose. Exhale the H sound. And feel. Feel that we've created receptivity. We've created the open vessel, and perhaps that same part of your mind, your awareness that was there when you were inside mama, that got educated about the sound of breath, was just utilized to bring you fully into your body, to embody you, and to allow a relaxation and to create a receptive field, receptive body temple. Can I get a oh yes? Did anybody feel for that? Did that land for you? Great. Wonderful. Thank you. And so taking the right hand, folding in the middle three fingers, inhale, block the right nostril with the thumb, exhale out the left nostril. Excellent posture. Inhale through the left. Block the left with the pinky, exhale out the right. And inhale through the right. Block the right with the thumb, exhale out the left. Listen to the sound of breathing in through the left. Exhale out the right nostril. Let the sound take you deeper in through the right. Block the right, exhale out the left. Inhaling through the left. Block the left with the pinky, exhale out the right. Good. Inhale through the right. Block the right, exhale out the left. Inhale through the left. Exhale out the right nostril. And inhale through the right. Block the right, exhale out the left. Inhaling through the left. And finishing out the right nostril. Letting go of both nostrils, slight wiggle to the nose. Inhale through both nostrils and blow it out long. Utter to yourself, if it's true, I am balanced, or I am balancing, if it's still happening. So as to be real with the moment, to be fully what I mean. Not just feeding you, I'm balanced, and say it when you're not, but when you feel yourself fully cultivating that within a matter of breaths, and you own it, oh, you become very on purpose. And the quantum field loves that. And so feel the beauty of three breath anchor followed by alternate nostril breathing, the anchor to anchor, center, ground you, to bring them fully in their body. Secondly, the alternate nostril breathing to balance you. And now open the eye petals to the outer world if they're not already. Hello, everyone. Feeling chi'd up from the feet up is a lovely thing. Allowing the chi into our body uninhibited, allowing the energy to move around and flow because we are a receptive vessel. What a beautiful thing to do for someone that's going to come sit in the scalar energy. And so feel what just those two techniques did, and let us now enter into a little bit of activation, a little energization. We're going to use our palms through our field towards the heart, and as we exhale, pushing away. And do you think that something about the mirror neuron connection I was telling you about, we're giving it away, literally, right through the screen? What happens to the chi? I don't know. I'm interested. I know what I feel when we do this technique and we energize through the camera, through the quantum, through this meeting at the center of the global village today. Are you delighted? I'm delighted. I love it. I love what we're doing right in this moment. Let's take it further. Let's heighten. And so, what's going to happen is we're going to take that setup breath. Remember, I said we would do that at the beginning of any technique. And then, after exhaling that first breath, we will then begin to pulsate chi through the body by inhaling towards the heart. Exhale, give it away. Inhale through the heart. Exhale by blowing, give it away. We're going to speed it up like a locomotive, stay at what I call pump pace once we get there, and we'll continue for about 20 to 30 pulsations. And then I'll lead you to holding out and breathing in, holding in. And so check in with the posture, by the way, just from the 3 breath anchor and the alternate nostril breathing alone. Can you feel that your posture is supported? Anybody feeling that they're not holding themselves up using muscles? This is a feeling people begin to get upon doing life force mastery. You begin to notice, and by the way, if you didn't get it yet, after this third technique, I'm going to have you check again. And I want you to see how, and again, this is, I said I would share logical and magical. There's both logical and magical aspects to this effect. The logical effect is spinal fluid is pumping up your spine, and therefore you feel more supported. The magical aspect is what's happening in the invisible, that we are getting our chakras moving faster, we are getting them fluid, and now up the spine, energy rises. And so, both very valid in preparing our bodies to receive scalar energy. How beautiful. Can I get, oh, yes? Woo woo. All right. Some celebration in the room today. Celebrate. Did you know you were going to celebrate your own breathing today? You're going to celebrate the power of the life force, the respiratory system. All right. And so here we go. Check in with the posture as we get ready to do what's called activator in the life force mastery system. Breathing in, set up breath. Blow out deeply, blow it out. And here we go. Good. Keep it going. Hear the sound of your breath. 5, 4, 3, slow it down. 2, 1. Breathe it in, blow it out, hold it out. Blow it out. Hold it out. Bounce your palms to the ground and feel for tingles on your palms. That's your chi from the palms to the ground. Yeah. Breathe it in, hold it in. Hold it in, but don't let your shoulders raise. Leave them down. Hold it in. And blow it out. I am charged. I am elevated. Choose to put whatever word you wish to put after I am. We know that I am are two of the most powerful words in the language. So to get someone right before they're getting ready to receive these amazing scalar waves, to get I am anchored, I am balanced, and then I am charged or I am elevated. My chi has risen up. I'm receptive. Can everybody sense that body, mind, and breath are moving in one direction now, as opposed to the top of the hour when we arrived, possibly in three? Can I get a oh yes or a hand in the air? Okay, great. Wonderful. Woo woo. Super. And so notice, put your awareness. Can you feel that your posture is being held up without muscles? That literally it's easy. See that? The logical aspect of the breath moving spinal fluid up the spine. Now, feel how you feel now as a baseline for those that are going to come and enjoy the scalar technology. How awesome to create receptivity, body, mind, and breath moving in one direction, moving them out of fight or flight, and then becoming the receptive vessel. Perhaps, and by the way, close your eyes for a moment and see if you are in meditation. Many of the people here, you've had many years of recognizing this state. Well, perhaps you were just put in it right there. And so feel for that, own that, enjoy that. This is where my work then goes further beyond here, is to get them into meditation before they head into a session. And so the thing I didn't mention that I also wanted to mention was the possibility of getting the entire body in a more alkaline state before going into a session. Also a great benefit, right? Well, the breath can do that. And so I'm going to leave it right there as far as what I'm bringing to you today. But Dr. Dream and I are wondering and wanted to feel with this session today where we arrived and how much this could be of benefit to you. We may create something for you other than that, where you're all in the actual scalar goodness while we're doing it, and perhaps offer something further to be able to. But today we wanted to get this baseline established and see how you all receive it. And so, yeah, I would love to hear if anything, even a word of from if you guys want to unmute real quick, just to hear a word of what you're getting, what you're feeling, or anything you got from just Anchor Balance Charge today.
Grounded.
Nice. Let's celebrate her life. Thank you, Karen. Grounded. Who else wants to share?
I literally felt more in my body than I have recently, and like high, just with that focused breathing. I get so caught up and distracted with everything that I'm doing and everything else that one of the last things I'm focused on is my breathing. And again, Rabie, this was, I mean, I feel so good right now, and I can only imagine that everyone that has joined us is feeling that energetic also.
Beautiful. Just take those two and imagine with the EES grounded, person coming in ungrounded, or feeling fully in your body, and that focus that gets established that is the opposite of scrolling. You know, we're sitting there scrolling every 2-3 seconds. There's something new on the awareness, but we go do Anchor Balance Charge. We've really served people before they go in and have a session. All right. Handing it over to Brother Dr. Dream. I'll drop my email in the chat if anybody wishes to come play. I have an entire Life Force Mastery offering for people that feel like they're drawn to wanting this under their belt as a healer. And of course, I do sessions for your own nervous system too, one-on-one. We'll be doing a group thing soon, but perhaps we'll do something special for EES because it interfaces differently for me to process the logic, as you saw today, for that system. So I'm here for any questions as well. And other than that, it's been a great joy to share this gift with you today. Really, it's an honor in my life.
Thank you so very much for making yourself available and showing up the way you show up, not just in the world, but right now in the EESystem family and community. I definitely, for our own center that we're involved in Whitewater, Kansas, I can see creating a 2 hour time when you would be live on Zoom and take people through an hour, like they get a half hour to start in the room, and then you're on for an hour, and then they get a half hour to just sort of wind down with it, I think would be fabulous. So we'll talk to the owners about that. Also, I want everyone that's here to know that we will be sharing your email address with Rabia. He will send you some information and some follow up. He is, like the rest of us, showing up to be in service, to make a difference. And I feel it. I feel it. I feel it every time that I interact with you, and I'm feeling it right now. And I'm so pleased that we brought this into the EESystem community. To me, it means everything.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, brother. Super honored. I want to make sure if anybody had any questions about the 3-breath anchor, about anything I did, if you want to open that up.
I have a question.
Yes.
I went to India at Oneness University and for a 5, almost 6 week intensive. And one of the exercises they did is the left nostril, right nostril process. And I don't recall what that was for. Would you
Sure.
explain what that was about?
Absolutely. So if you ask different modalities, you'll get more eloquent answers throughout pranayam. It goes by the name Anulom Volom or Nadi Shadhana. Nadi Shadhana, if you know the Nadi, right? Nadis are our pathways. Shadhana is the balancing of our pathways. Now check, everybody. Are your nostrils both open? By show of hands, do you feel your nostrils both open? Can you feel that? That's from our alternate nostril breathing. And it's often what I have people check right when we're done. I didn't today, just moved right along. But right after alternate nostril breathing, if your nostrils are both open, you have just opened the access to Sushumna. Sushumna is the central channel in yoga. Okay, so you have the dual forces, Ida and Pingala, which are establishing the solar and the lunar. But when you open both nostrils, you've established connection to oneness in the body, connection to oneness. In fact, there's places in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika and different yogic texts where they say, if you want cosmic experience in meditation, don't meditate with one nostril open. Right? It's like, oh, okay, how about that for some knowledge? But when you open them both, and this is why the pranayama was priming us for the blast off that is meditation. And now we're priming people to receive the blast off that is EES. Awesome, divine, beautiful, powerful. In fact, perhaps it would lend to them feeling that they're priming their being if you ran them through that and then said, now are both your nostrils open? And if they say no, you go right back into alternate nostril breathing. I've done this with rooms of people for many, many years, and 90% of the room will have nostrils open within 2 minutes of alternate nostril breathing. The remaining 10% will feel very loved that we went back in to go get them opened up. And it's great. We then finish the room off. Everybody's open. Everybody's open. Now we've opened the Sushumna, the central channel, the pretense to oneness aspect in the body. How divine and awesome to walk the earth knowing that. And so, great question.
Yeah, well, thank you. Now it's like a super conscious of doing that makes it even more. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
And how many yoga classes have people been in where that wasn't uttered? You did alternate nostril, but nobody knew the difference. So take that logic with you and share it. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'm honored by your words. Thank you. Karen.
Yes, I guess it's more of a comment than a question. Man, do I wished I had known this when I was recovering from a brain aneurysm. The spinal fluid was intense.
Okay. Yeah.
And this would have been very helpful in that recovery process. Man, that just was what popped into my brain, was like, they need to be using this for spinal fluid removal after that process, because your spinal fluid gets really jacked up after that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and stagnant. And nobody's out there teaching that the breath and the chi will move it, because nobody's getting paid at any hospital to, you know what I'm saying? For us to carry that logic as healers and know that activating conscious breathing in a greater way than we're breathing when we're breathing passively. We're moving it. There is a motion, and the vacuum of that motion has a chain reaction leading all the way to the spinal fluid.
I mean, I can feel it right now.
Yeah.
It's like I have sparklers going up and down right
Cool.
now.
Wonderful.
And you know that when you're recovering from a traumatic brain trauma, that is something that, you know, you really, it's very hard with the pain level you're in to tap into that. This is like amazing to me. Like there's a reason I was able to be here today. Yay!
Yes. Let that amazingness land and take that with you. That's such great logic to know that my breathing potential, conscious breathing, will move that for me. And then in the invisible, the chi as well is moving. And so some of that sparkle may be the very 3D spinal fluid. Some of that sparkle may be your chi. Either way, I celebrate. Wonderful. So happy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Linda or Catherine? Let's go Linda first and then Catherine. Linda?
Yeah, you explained what the both nostril breathing is. What is the left versus right? Is there, like an explanation for that?
Absolutely. So the right is the solar path, the sun, the masculine. The left nostril is the feminine, the moon, the lunar, the cooling. And so the right is a heating up, the left is a cooling, is a creating of space. And so it works in a polar fashion as well. Let me start by saying this. Most people don't know, but your nostril dominance changes every 3 to 4 hours on its own. And a few of the times I've announced that, someone has raised their hand and been like, and I've been buying nasal saline all this time, trying to But the truth is, yes, your body is managing your need for more of the go, go, go solar energy, or the more slow it down, relax, create space, feminine energy. And how beautiful that is. It's this symphony that's constantly moving through us. And then at the point we are at choice and we know how to, we open them both up. We open the central channel. We become more balanced. We become more embodied. And all of the things that come with that. And so it's no accident that my students will be able to enter meditation within only 9 breaths, because we're priming, utilizing things like this, like alternate nostril breathing. And so, wonderful. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. It does. Actually, it's not a few hours necessarily. I mean, that may be the case. I just got done not long ago. I went to a Vipassana 10-day retreat, and the objective was to pay attention, what's going on. And it would alternate, like with passive breathing, because it's passive breathing. And they said, be aware of what your breath is doing, and not be attached to it. But I never knew that I was taking turns with, either one, the other, or both. And it was pretty interesting. I mean, not that it was supposed to matter, but now I'm understanding. So thank you.
Wonderful. It is really, I can feel all of you interested in the power of enhancing energy. It's in the name of the EES. But look at these different ways we are enhancing energy so as to allow the scalar system to work even greater, perhaps, by priming. So, and notice how non-airy-fairy that is. Your nostrils opened up, right? It is as grounded and real as can be. And I really like bringing that to breath work, bringing both the magical and the logical together. All right. Thank you, sister. And Catherine.
Yeah, I'm wondering two things. One is Hannah Kroger has a technique that she does, or she's not, she's deceased now, but there's a technique that she does on people with leukemia. It's a tailbone technique, and that is to open up the spinal column and to get the spinal fluid flowing again. And I'm wondering, I do that technique on clients. If I pendulum and see if the tailbone, if the spinal fluid is flowing. If it's not, then I do this technique. But anyway, and I'm wondering if this would replace that, that I can teach it more to people where you get something they can do themselves, whereas some people struggle with, laying on a table on their stomach or whatever. But and then the other thing is I am wondering, I have a Chiari client and people that, their skull is, the brain is growing bigger than the skull and it starts protruding down the out of the spine at the base of the skull. And they get a lot of spinal fluid pressure. And post-surgery, the client I have, I do reflexology on her in the EESystem room, but I think it's the EESystem room that's helping her. But I'm wondering if I have her do this technique, I think that could, and she has a surgeon that would be open to trying this on his clients, on his patients, but to get that spinal fluid flowing so it's not just building up. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is exciting.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, just looking at the wealth of knowledge that the yogis had on the fact that the chi, moved by the breath,
Yeah.
moved things up and down the spine. This has been the basis of their knowledge. And so the spinal fluid being one of those things, I
Mhm.
can with confidence say more breath work, controlled, nothing too off the sometimes when people do conscious connected breathing, there's a too, I don't want to say too much motion, but
I,
the reason
I've
we,
experienced that. Yeah,
yeah, so as
I'm
opposed,
actually uncomfortable with that.
thank you for sharing, because that's the thing that I just don't find conscious connected breathing to be like a fix all, and a lot of breath work has turned it into that, where
Yes.
teach one technique. Well, what about all the other behaviors of the breath that are so important as you see? And so my recommendation would be to use the A, B, and C anchor, balance, and charge that we did today, even though I
Yes,
didn't
I
teach
loved
you how
it.
to do all of it, but you see
Yeah.
what's there. The charge aspect there, where you're using 20 to 30 activating breaths to move the chi up the spine, that's enough motion to get it
Yes.
to get it pulsing, to get it moving
Absolutely.
in a gentle enough way. They fully feel they're in control. We're not tapping on the trauma door. You're
Yes. That's what
yeah.
I witnessed. And it was like, I'm not going anywhere near breath work.
Sure, right. Well,
It
I'll say
was,
this too. In having them do these breaths and any of this stuff I shared with you today, please have them do it seated up. If a
yeah.
person does 20 to 30 breaths activated seated on their back, that's where you start to tap on that door. And
Oh, okay. Good.
yeah,
Good to
so
know.
granted, if they're reclined, I would first have them do the breaths that you're gonna have them do seated up,
Yeah.
and then reclining after the breath work, and allow it to
Okay.
receive what they're receiving from the waves.
Thank you so much. This was fabulous. Absolutely
Yeah,
fabulous.
super. Such an honor to get to share. Thank you. All right. Yes, Susan.
I first off, I loved your presentation. I had a couple of years of training with Judith Kravitz, and it was the conscious connected breathing that not only knocked on the door of trauma, but just there was amazing things that happened there. And I spent a couple years having workshops with a friend that we did that, and I stopped because first off, they wouldn't come back, and there was no integration, and so it was too much.
Yeah.
And so this, I love this because it allows people to really be present in their body, uh, and grounded and present, which when they first walk in the door, they're not, and so you just really bring them back into themselves so that they can be more open and receptive to what's happening in the moment. And so I loved how this process is it's gentle, It's easy. It's sitting up. I like that. Yeah. And it will definitely, I worked with a little bit with people's breath, but just basically getting them to breathe. But I won't do the trauma work anymore.
Yeah.
It was for its time, it was there. And now I won't practice that kind of breathing anymore. So thank
Yeah.
you again for
Yeah.
everything that you're doing here.
Oh, an honor to bring these particular forces of the breath to your life in a different way. You know, I have Judith is a colleague of mine. I've presented with Judith before. I know all the people in the modalities that have become very popular that are conscious connected breathing based. I am still standing for something that I think people don't do that I would like them to do, and want you all to know that now, which is people calling on their own sovereignty before doing any conscious connected breathing, knowing that it's you and the divine. That's it. So many modalities don't say a word, and then they blast them off and they wonder why something else could have been involved, or if there's any entity attachment situations, it can get mucky. And this is what ends up having people say, oh, look, I don't want to do that anymore. So yes, it has its place, and the trauma release is very powerful and awesome. But now it's time for us as evolving beings to learn the rest, to learn what really is available from a more gentle perspective. And yeah, what happens when we sit up and do the breath work? There's a whole, many lineages of stuff to bring. So glad to bring that through Life Force Mastery today. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
You.
Awesome.
Rabie, I'd like to thank you for everything that you brought to us today. In keeping with starting on time and finishing on time, I'm just going to step in. You put your email address in the chat so people can reach out to you. We will be sharing everyone's email address that has signed up with you, so you can reach back out to them. This is recorded, so people that came in late, or people like myself that want to watch it several times to get very good at the technique and everything,
Yes.
it is available. I think just based on the time, Darylle and I will go ahead and close, but I would like to put something out there. You all that are here or will listen to this later know how to reach myself or Darylle. Please let us know. This the ongoing support Sundays for EESystem owners is not going to go away. And more to the point, we're going to step it up, and we've got some other collaborations that are in the pipeline right now that we'll be presenting to you. But we would love to hear from you about what you would like to hear more about, what you would like to experience. And so we can really gear it for you. Also, as a side note, I've got a group of owners, and we're willing to take on a couple more to work, so to speak, the current Telegram group for EESystem owners. And we have a website set up that will have resources from Darylle, from people like Rabie, videos and all sorts of things. And it's really important that we hear from you on how we can be at the highest level of being in service to your needs and holding space for you in a way that you would like us to. Darylle, would you like to go ahead and...
Oh, yes. I mean, thank you again for everything today. The commitment, I would say it this way. This is my personal sense of what's happening, and I apply, is that the primary consideration each moment when we wake up in the morning is to find this state of consciousness that is a high state. That means judgment free. That means honoring and being in awe that you've been entrusted with this incredible technology that's escorting humanity into the golden age of enlightenment is like, hello. That's why Dr. Dream and I speak so many times, and I can't hold back the tears ever, like to be with you guys and doing whatever is my entire life was preparation now to support you in this incredible, historic in all of mankind's history moment is now. And so the way to escort humanity into the golden age of enlightenment is to be in high states ourselves. And so the idea would be to set an intention to actually be a fifth dimensional being now. And so that you're actually experiencing and being and showing what it looks like as you escort others into it, because there's nothing greater than the feeling of freedom and all these gifts that God has created us with. That any negativity pinches that off. But when that negativity is retired, because the priority is to stay in high states of consciousness, you just won't believe. You'll just be, I'm so grateful I got to be a human being. I'm doing that kind of in the later years of my life, going, wow, I'm so excited about being a human and being here. And now, especially with you guys, doing whatever possible with God's direction also. You know, I'm asking God's guidance as well to serve you in remarkable ways, because we must be successful in escorting humanity into the golden age. So thank you again for being in my life, and I'll be grateful throughout eternity for all of you. So thank you for all you're doing. We're so many. Bless you all.
Feel the love and own the intention with us. I have to just say one last thing about Darylle. I've been working on a project of interviewing EESystem owners around the world that have been impacted by her work. And what I'm finding across the board, and I'll be presenting this video, is that their businesses are shifting as they are shifting their energy, their perspective, their focus. They're not putting more money into marketing. More people are walking through the door. This is working with the quantum field and becoming our fifth dimensional selves. And Darylle is spearheading and leading us ever so selflessly and wonderfully in that effort, and it makes a huge difference. And thank you all for being here. Know that we love you so much, and there isn't anything that we wouldn't do to assist you. Thank you so much for joining us on Support Sunday.
Thank you.